Hi everyone, it's Tina here from Tina Hoyce Arts with another blog post for Stencilgirl products. Today's is a fun one and it was inspired by Jen McGuire, another fellow creative. Basically, we're going to be creating 4 cards out of one piece of paper. I'm going to be using mixed media paper and it's 10 by 7, the original size, and I will be cutting it down into 4 equal pieces. You can use any size of paper you want as long as the pieces are the same. So it's going to be 3.5 by 5 inches for each little rectangle that I'm going to be making. And rather than taping it on the back, as was the original video from Jen, I'm going to be using the gel plates because I find it's easier for me rather than sticking and unsticking and just, rotating the papers around. You'll see. It's just easier because the gel plate, everything sticks to it. And excuse my messy one, I do overuse it. And if anybody has a good way of cleaning it, yeah, send me a DM. That would be wonderful. So here we go. So we're going to place it down on our gel plate after it's cut. Okay, make sure they're touching. And there we go. And the first stencil that's going to be our main stencil is Puddles, and that's number S331 by Ray Missigman. And we're going to be using that as well as any paint or even ink, like an ink pad. You can use that as well. I chose paint. I don't have many ink pads. And I'm mixing my colors up. I'll just pick up a random paint, random paint and apply it and mix them all up rather than using one. But you feel free. You can choose a single color, 2 colors, 5 colors, as many colors as you want. You can start with a soft layer on the bottom, creating a darker layer as you go along. It's up to you. There's not really many rules. So that our stencil's in the center of all 4 pieces. And just gently I'm using a makeup triangle, makeup sponge, but you can use anything you like to apply your paint or ink. Any applicator will work. And I'm going in with light touches first, and then I'll repeat on top. And again, like I said, I'm picking up random colors as I go along and just laying them on top of each other. So that's the first step. Now we lift our papers and rotate them so we always have the blank in the center. Okay, so that's the technique. We're always rotating, filling the blanks. In retrospect, you can stop after this first corner if you like and just put a sentiment on or, another piece of paper, however you want to make your card. But I'm going to keep going. And rather doing all 4 corners, because of the size of paper I'm using, I'm only going to do 3. And I like the way that looks. So I'll show you when I'm done here that I'm only using the 3 corners. And I really like the Puddles stencil because it has no edges. It has a round, curvy edges, and it kind of blends in, and you can layer it on whatever's there previously. So I'm really liking the way that's looking already. And again, we can stop here, but I'm going to do one more. Again, rotate them so you have that blank center. And repeat the process again. I also found with the puddle stencil, it's very easy to find the center. So as you can tell, I love easy when I'm creating. Easy is my friend. So once that layer is done, I'm going to continue in and make a focal on each one of the cards, and I'm going to use the feather stencil, which is S178 by Cecilia Swatton, and I really love the way it's going to turn out. And I'm going to be using just basic black for the feather. Now on the stencils, 3 sizes and variations of feathers. You feel free to choose one, the one that suits you. Maybe your pieces of paper will be bigger, maybe they'll be smaller, make little tags, because you can cut them little and make tags. You can make artist trading cards with this technique, so it's pretty fantastic. So I'm going to use that one there. And again, I'm going over the existing pattern that I did with the puddle stencil, but I'm going to apply the paint thick enough that it won't show. And this technique, I love it because you can use it with any stencil, really. You can layer stencils. This was what I had on hand, and the technique inspired me to use these stencils for this project. But feel free to use what stencils you have in your stash. I think that looks great. And again, we can leave it like that, but I'm adding another element to it. And here I'm using the cross stitch stencil, which is L530 by Tammy Titaro. And I'm just dabbing what's left over on my sponge. I want that faint background to ground the feather and just to direct the eye around it. And I'm going to continue on with the rest of them now and put it on fast forward, and I'll see you guys at the end. That was it. Thanks for watching, guys. Written instructions are on stencilgirltalk.com. I hope you enjoyed the process, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay creative.